Senator the Honorable Paula School, Minister of Trade and Industry. Dr. the Honorable Naya Gatsby Dolly, Minister of Community Development, Culture and the Arts. Mr. Clary Ben, Chairman, National Entrepreneurship Development Company. Dr. Kern Tobias, President, Caribbean Union Conference of Seventh-day Adventists and Chairman of the Board of Trustees, University of the Southern Caribbean. Members of the Board of Trustees, Vice Presidents, Deans, and members of the administration of the University of the Southern Caribbean. Dr. Raghu Ramello, Dean, School of Business, Entrepreneurship, and Continuing Professional Studies of the University of Southern Caribbean and Seminar Coordinator. Representatives from the Caribbean Union Conference and Southern Caribbean Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, distinguished entrepreneurs and members of the business community, representative of other academic institutions in Trinidad and Tobago, esteemed students of the University of the Southern Caribbean, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am indeed deeply honored to deliver the opening address on behalf of Senator the Honorable Jennifer Baptiste Primus, Minister of Labor and Small Enterprise Development, at the 8th Annual Business Development Seminar and Expo, organized by the School of Business, Entrepreneurship and Continuing Professional Studies of the University of the Southern Caribbean. Minister Baptiste Primus is unable to be with us today and has asked me to convey her good wishes for a very productive and enlightening seminar and expo. For those of you who may be familiar with my minister, you will agree that she is very passionate about issues related to entrepreneurship and small business development. Undoubtedly, she is eagerly awaiting the fruitful outcomes of this seminar and the impact that our discussions will have on strengthening the entrepreneurial system in Trinidad and Tobago. I take this opportunity to commend the University of the Southern Caribbean, in particular the School of Business Entrepreneurship, Continuing Professional Studies, for the initiative in organizing this seminar and in its selection of a very apt team, as indicated by Chairman of NEDCO, the role of entrepreneurship and training in economic development with reference to Trinidad and Tobago. Mr. Clary Ben would have shared the relationship between USC and NEDCO in the past, and I would like to reiterate. The University of the Southern Caribbean, as one of the oldest tertiary institutions in the Southern Caribbean, continues to effectively work towards achieving its mission of transforming ordinary people into extraordinary servants of God to humanity through a holistic tertiary educational experience. At the Ministry of Labor and Small Enterprise Development, we have seen the transformative impact of this prestigious university in the lives of ordinary citizens who have participated in the National Integrated Business Incubator Program, IBIS for short, which is implemented by the National Entrepreneurship Development Company Limited. The university has served as one of our earliest service providers when the IBIS program was launched in 2011 in providing pre-incubation training for persons in communities. Training aimed at providing an orientation to the field of entrepreneurship was provided by the university to over 50 persons, and as indicated by Mr. Ben, in the Sandy Grande, Samoa, Lamberton, and Couva areas. The training covered critical areas such as conduct of a personal SWOT analysis, developing leadership skills, development of business plans, and market sector analysis. I wish to thank the USC for partnering with us and demonstrating a true commitment to nurturing entrepreneurs in Trinidad and Tobago. The agenda for this seminar features a number of competent speakers who will undoubtedly address the theme expertly. I wish to focus my address on the role of entrepreneurship in economic development, taking cognizance of the fact that the featured speaker is Senator the Honorable Paula School, Minister of Trade and Industry, who is more qualified than I am to address the trade element. Notwithstanding this, I fully appreciate the need to understand the importance of the interrelation between entrepreneurship and trade and how these contribute to economic development. To understand the role of entrepreneurship in economic development, it is important to first understand what entrepreneurship means. The Harvard Business Review knows that entrepreneurship relates to the pursuit of opportunity beyond the resources controlled. By this definition, all efforts to make something more from the limited resources that one has under his or her control are considered entrepreneurship. The Global Entrepreneurship and Development Institute places entrepreneurship in the realm of the markets and buying and selling by noting that an entrepreneur is a person with the vision to see an innovation and the ability to bring it to market. While the definitions may vary, they all seem to have a common thread, that entrepreneurs are the risk takers, the innovators, and the drivers of the economy. In a paper presented at the UN Conference on Trade and Development in Geneva in 2004, the roles of an entrepreneur were identified as risk-seeking, opportunity-seeking, and innovativeness. Without these qualities, an economy can stagnate. It can fail to see the waxing and waning of markets and industries. It can miss vital opportunities to capitalize on the next best thing and instead cling too tightly to the comfort of familiar sectors and processes while opportunities pass by. The importance of the role of entrepreneurship in development has been reinforced with the articulation of Goal 8 as one of the Sustainable Development Goals. Goal 8 speaks to the promotion of inclusive and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. One of the targets associated with this goal is the promotion of development-oriented policies that support productive activities, decent job creation, entrepreneurship, creativity and innovation, and encourage the formalization and growth of micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, including through access to financial services. Entrepreneurship is at the forefront of government's agenda. Its importance is evidenced in the National Development Strategy 2017 to 2030, known as Vision 2030, in which one of the themes identified is that of enabling competitive businesses. It is articulated in Vision 2030 that Trinidad and Tobago needs a diverse economy that is innovative, competitive, and has the foundations and supporting structures to encourage businesses and entrepreneurs to succeed and become competitive both locally and internationally. It also identifies one of the 5 key areas of transformation required in our society with respect to culture, values, and attitudes as that of nurturing citizens who are more creative, innovative, and entrepreneurial. Under the theme of building competitive businesses in Vision 2030, 4 main goals are articulated and associated strategies have been elaborated. The goals are as follows. Macroeconomic stability will be maintained, a business environment that is conducive to entrepreneurship, a more attractive destination for investment and trade, and firms will produce high-value products and services that can compete in export markets. Vision 2030 clearly connects the role of entrepreneurship with trade by emphasizing the importance of creating and supporting export-oriented enterprises that create high-value products and services for export. It knows that to be globally competitive, our goods and services must conform to and surpass international standards. Key strategies to achieve the goals identified in Vision 2030 pertinent to enhancing entrepreneurship include developing a sound financial system that encourages entrepreneurs and minimizes risk, strengthening entrepreneurship development systems, establishing centers of excellence and technology parks, developing a new and enhanced suite of incentives to encourage development of small businesses and exports, and promoting a culture of entrepreneurship and innovation through education and training. It is evident that the USC, through its School of Business, Entrepreneurship and Continuing Professional Studies, and the convening of this seminar, is playing its part in furthering the goals of Vision 2030 relating to entrepreneurship. In its 2018 report, the Global Entrepreneurship and Development Institute ranked Trinidad and Tobago 81st on the Global Entrepreneurship Index out of 137 countries with a score of 24.4%. Within the region of South Central America and the Caribbean, we are ranked 10th out of 24 countries. The index highlighted our strongest area as risk acceptance and our weakest area as networking. What this simply means is that whilst our citizens are willing to take the risk associated with starting their own businesses, they are hampered by inadequate institutional support and helping hands, such as through private enterprise associations and networks. That is, the support system for entrepreneurs was found to be weak. This information tells us that we definitely need to combine our efforts to encourage the creation of forward and backward linkages and the development of networks to ensure a vibrant entrepreneurial sector and the success of those therein. Forums such as this seminar are exactly the initiatives needed to strengthen these networks and links that are vital for entrepreneurs to succeed. Here, in the company of so many like-minded individuals, you will find your partners and your allies, those persons and agencies with which to form the synergies necessary for success. Ladies and gentlemen, for many it seems intuitive that there is a positive correlation between entrepreneurship and economic growth. In fact, enterprise or entrepreneurship is considered as a critical factor of production which has the ability to combine land, labor, and capital to produce the goods and services that can be traded for economic gains. The Global Entrepreneurship Monitor, GEM, report is perhaps one of the key documents that synthesize a broad spectrum of data related to entrepreneurship, innovation, economic growth, and other socio-economic derivatives. This report has built a case which strongly links entrepreneurship and economic growth. Entrepreneurship, particularly with regard to small businesses, is considered to be a critical driver of wealth generation, job creation, and community development. Conservative estimates indicate that the micro and small enterprise sector in Trinidad and Tobago accounts for approximately 28% of GDP, representing 20,000 business entities and employing approximately 200,000 persons across all sectors. It is also important to understand that entrepreneurship is linked to both innovation and productivity, while by its very nature, entrepreneurs must be innovators in order to survive, and startups must seek to be productive in order to compete in a dynamic environment. Another dimension we must appreciate is the impact of entrepreneurship on human capital formation and talent management in the economy. The skills base of an economy tends to grow when focus is placed on enhancing entrepreneurship, as entrepreneurs must possess a wide range of competencies in order to succeed. As businesses grow, employees can also benefit from exposure to new technology, production methods, and business management practices. Mindful of the important role of entrepreneurship in economic development, the Ministry of Labor and Small Enterprise Development has been mandated to promote small business development in Trinidad and Tobago. The Ministry understands the need for entrepreneurs, especially those involved in micro and small businesses, to have effective supporting networks and an enabling environment for the creation and growth of their enterprises. With this in mind, the Ministry developed a micro and small enterprise development policy, which was approved by Cabinet in September 2014. The focus of the policy is the establishment of a very supportive entrepreneurship ecosystem that responds to and anticipates the needs of MSEs, thus resulting in the greater contribution of MSEs to national development. I would just like to add that the Ministry is currently going to undertake a review of this said policy because it was approved in 2014. We are now in 2018. So we see the need to look at it and determine whether there are areas for strengthening. The Ministry of Labour and Small Enterprise Development is committed to eliminating or reducing hurdles for entrepreneurs, creating opportunities and providing a framework to expand the business support services available to MSEs. This is being achieved in collaboration with key public and private sector agencies as well as academia. At the Ministry, our commitment to development of the MSE sector and building national productivity is reflected in the numerous initiatives being undertaken despite our budgetary constraints. The most recent initiative is geared at institutional strengthening of the National Entrepreneurship Development Company, NEDCO, and Mr. Ben would have spoken on this earlier. The people of Trinidad and Tobago deserve efficiency and value for money in service delivery. And to this end, a complete review of the operation of NEDCO is underway so that it can reestablish its leadership position in fostering MSC development and sustainability in Trinidad and Tobago. You may also be aware or not of other programs being implemented by the Ministry of Labour and Small Enterprise Development to promote entrepreneurship in Trinidad and Tobago. Programs such as the Fair Share Program, the National Integrated Business Incubator System, IBIS, which is now under NEDCO, and the establishment of business clusters are all designed to encourage the establishment and growth of micro and small enterprises and to provide a conducive environment for small businesses to develop and grow. Currently, the Ministry is reviewing all of the programs under its enterprise development portfolio in order to assess their effectiveness and efficiency, ensure that they provide the value for money that the citizens and clients deserve. This review is part of the Ministry's strong commitment to providing efficient services which contribute to the development of our people and our country. Another aspect of entrepreneurship which we have been promoting at the Ministry of Labour and Small Enterprise Development is that of cooperative development. Cooperatives are member-owned and operated entities that form around common benefits for members. They are unique forms of business enterprise that conform to 7 key principles, including voluntary and open membership, member economic participation, democratic member control, autonomy and independence and concern for community. Cooperatives are based on the values of self-help, self-responsibility, democracy, equality, equity, honesty, openness, social responsibility, and caring for others. While cooperatives have existed in Trinidad and Tobago since 1911, many persons are unaware of their roles and functions. Most of us may be familiar with credit unions, which represent one form of cooperatives, that is financial cooperatives. A number of non-financial cooperatives exist in Trinidad and Tobago, such as agricultural cooperatives, consumer cooperatives, producer cooperatives, and multi-purpose cooperatives. These play an important role in strengthening entrepreneurship, generating wealth, creating employment, and building communities. The Ministry of Labour and Small Enterprise Development has responsibility for the development and regulation of the cooperative sector in Trinidad and Tobago, and is willing to provide assistance to persons interested in this type of enterprise. I wish to briefly underscore the importance of education and training in the thrust to enhance entrepreneurship in Trinidad and Tobago, and the role of educational institutions such as the USC in this thrust. The Global Entrepreneurship Monitor 2017-2018 report emphasizes the importance of developing entrepreneurship programs at the school stage and in post-secondary educational institutions. It advocates for educational programs and internships that involve students in entrepreneurial activities throughout the program of study. It also makes a case for greater support for research in the areas of entrepreneurship, innovation, corporate renewal, business scaling up, and the creation of youth entrepreneurship programs for teenagers at school age, using the mentorship of teachers, business executives, and university students. Educational institutions and universities are also encouraged to consider providing lifelong learning curriculum that may be available on an as-needed basis. I am therefore encouraged to learn that the USC focuses on real-world experiences and rigorous research, as well as fostering a culture of entrepreneurship and an environment which seeks out new ideas and innovation. I applaud your initiative in establishing a center that will focus specifically on entrepreneurship training and support for business development. In closing, I wish to once again thank the USC for the invitation to the Ministry of Labour and Small Enterprise Development to participate in this seminar and expo. This is an exciting opportunity to learn from great minds, to share experiences, and to exchange ideas. It is only through our collective efforts and the engagement of all stakeholders involved that we can foster and inculcate a strong culture of entrepreneurship in Trinidad and Tobago. I would like to give the assurance that the Ministry of Labour and Small Enterprise Development remains committed to entrepreneurial development in our country and is willing to provide support, within our means of course, in your ongoing initiative at the USC. In closing, I leave you with the words of renowned management consultant and writer Peter Drucker, that entrepreneur is neither a science nor an art, but it is a practice. I thank you.